I've always liked Mother Nature. Ever since I can remember, whenever I traveled to forest preserves or the woods, I always sensed peace when I was outside. The idea of exploring the plethora of amazing features and sights that the natural world had to offer. I loved it so much that I ended up applying for a program where it would send me out to northern Wisconsin for 3 weeks with no phone. And the fact that it had no phone would deter a lot of other people, but for me, it was something I was excited about. It provided an escape from modern time and technology. And so I applied and I got accepted into the Center of Conservation Leadership. Thanks to the Center of Conservation Leadership, I was able to spend 3 weeks in northern Wisconsin exploring the plethora of amazing environmental sites and learning more about environmental issues facing modern society. And if there was one thing that they really pointed out and hit on hard was the idea of environmental stewardship. One thing that everyone knows to this day is the definition of stewardship, which is taking care of something that's not your own. This really struck a chord in me because I always wanted to help out the world and make it a better place. Being on this trip really opened my eyes to things I wouldn't even think about to this day, and it really enlightened me to ideas and problems I wasn't even aware about. While I was in northern Wisconsin, I was also thinking about what my stewardship project would be. Because when we come back from the 3-week camping trip in Wisconsin, we all need to do our own stewardship project and a way to give back to the community and the environment. I had my hand in like a few of the projects. I was kind of their personal photographer and paparazzi. The first project I worked on was with Zach. Zach was working on a project on removing buckthorn from his local church. Over there I learned about how buckthorn is an invasive species and how it grows so big that it doesn't let other native plants grow and get the proper sunlight to grow more. Over at its church we spend most of the morning just working on removing this buckthorn that they chopped down. We picked up all these broken down buckthorn plants and then we put them in a fire. Yeah, so we had a controlled burn of all these plants to make sure the species around would get the proper nourishment they needed. It was nice working with Zach's project because most of the CCL students came and I had a familiar face to talk with, so that was pretty nice. Another project I helped with was with Miguel's. He was working with the Waukegan Sports District about a rain garden that was in need of some help. Now on Miguel's birthday we really had a lot of fun and we got a lot of things done. The rain made it a bit challenging at times, but we eventually got through it. And I'm really happy about how everyone came together despite of the weather conditions, and we all just kept on working to get the job done. They needed to pick up all the plants they had already chopped down, and we needed to rake them up so they could collect them. After we picked up all the dead plants with the rakes, sure that all the soil was like spread out so we can put on some seeds in there. So after winter came and spring came up, they would be ready to start growing. It was important we did this because before the soil froze over, we needed to make sure the seeds were in place before it got cold. After we put in that grind and started raking and putting in that work, after we put in the seeds, we then put in rocks to make sure that the rain that came down would go into the rain garden and give the proper nourishment to the plants that were there. I talked with Miguel after we finished the workday, and this is what he had to say.
So they built this rain garden a couple of years ago, but they haven't really maintained it lately. And this is something close to home because I live here in Waukegan. This is a sports park. So this is a wonderful rain garden that hadn't been taken care of, and I got out here and helped out. That anyone can do it. It starts with a simple idea, and then just having someone to help you, to guide you, and just reaching out really. And you can email your local director of like the local park director or whoever, and you can spread the word that I want to do something, and believe me, you'll get something.
My biggest takeaway from that workday was the idea that no matter what you want to do, as long as you have an idea and you put in the work, you can get just about anything done. The big project I helped assist with was on data collection with some landing turtles. This is one of my personal favorite ones, not just because of the really cute turtles that I worked with, but I mean, that was a big plus side. Because I mean, look at these turtles. Look at that little guy. How can you not smile looking at him? I also really like this because it put the emphasis and importance on data collection. Something that people think is pretty boring, but is actually really helpful when thinking about the environment. I ended up working with Ari and Tylee on getting some data collection for some landing turtles which were endangered. We each got our own data collection on the shells and turtle size and weight to make sure they're nice and healthy. We got the data over 50 turtles that day, and I felt really good about what we did. Not just because I worked with some animals up close and personal, but also because they needed this data to make sure they had a record of all of the turtles' growth to make sure everything was doing fine. And after a long day of work, we just looked at the turtles one more time and we just said goodbye. Looking back on this, I'm really glad I joined CCL because I got to work and be involved with all these wonderful projects and wonderful people. I got the first-hand look of how important environmental stewardship is. So then I kept thinking about what I learned in the summer about environmental stewardship, taking care of something that's not your own. And I thought, what if I showed all these projects and ended up showing some spotlight and spreading it to as much people as I can? And that's exactly what I did. So as you can all see, all these kids and adults got together to get one common goal: give back to the environment and help look after our own. So no matter who you are or what you do, you can all find a way to give back to the environment and the world to make it a better place. That's why I very much connect with the Gandhi quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world." Working closely with these projects, I felt like I was making a difference in the world. Even though it was small, it made an impact on our own community, and we can really see that now. That's why I'm calling on each and every one of you to go out and do something to give back to the environment. If we all go out and do something, no matter how small or big, be it from helping a rain garden, recording a video in your basement, or going and working with some turtles, or countless of other things, we are bound to make the world a better place and make it greener, more friendly, and a better tomorrow. So with that being said, be the change.